Today we're going to be learning about the artist Henri Matisse. And Henri Matisse was born in Paris, France in 1869. And he started out as a painter, but when he was older, when he was in his 70s, he got very ill. And he was confined to his bed. He couldn't really get out of bed. So he decided to make collages. Collages are pieces of artwork that are made up of cut and pasted shapes, like this one. So this is a piece of paper. This is an artwork that I made based on Henri Matisse's The Goldfish. And this is a collage. The construction paper that you see, the pink magenta color, is the background, and on top of that are other shapes. So the leaf shapes that you see here, the fish, are cut and pasted and they're put on top of it. So that's called a collage. So in the story, you're going to be seeing lots of shapes. Henri Matisse, in his paintings and his collages, used shapes a lot in his artwork. So in the pictures in the book, I want you to look for these shapes. So on this side of the paper, you see geometric types of shapes, so like rectangles and triangles. On this side of the paper, you see organic shapes. Organic shapes are curvy shapes. Kind of like camouflage. That's an example of a shape, and you can see they have lots of curving edges. So in the story, I want you to look for geometric shapes and organic shapes. The book that we're going to read today is called Henri Scissors. So I'm going to turn the camera so that you guys can just see the book. So this is Henri Scissors, and the book is by Jeanette Winters. In a small weaving town in France, a young boy named Henri-Émile Benoît Matisse watched his mother paint china. He wanted to paint too. He drew pictures in the sand, and he drew pictures in his school books. When Henri was a young man, he drew pictures in his law books and on contracts, deeds, and wills. Henri was sick in bed with appendicitis one winter. His mother gave him a box of paints, and he painted until he was well. He kept on painting, forgot about law, and left his small town to be an artist in Paris. Henri painted pictures day after day and year after year. He was happy, and his paintings made people happy. But when Matisse was an old man, he fell ill. So ill he couldn't paint, so ill he couldn't sit up, so ill he could only lie in bed and sleep. His paintings floated by in his dreams. Over here on this side of the page are real pieces of artwork. I know they're illustrations in a book, but these are based on some of his real artwork. So this is the goldfish bowl that I was talking about earlier. And these are some more of his paintings. Matisse finally opened his eyes, and they were filled with sadness. Now he must remain in bed or use a wheelchair. Would he ever have the energy to paint again? When Matisse was strong enough to travel, he went to the seaside. The sea air might help him get well. Before long, he sat up, and a little later, he drew. Then one day, Matisse picked up a pair of scissors and cut out shapes from painted paper. He was drawing with scissors. A pair of scissors is a wonderful instrument. Matisse cut paper all day. My pleasure is cutting things out grows even greater. Why didn't I think of it earlier? His assistants painted paper for him all day. It seems to me that I am in a second life. Paper cutouts covered his walls. I want you to notice the geometric shapes and the non-geometric shapes, or the organic shapes that you see in the pictures. One evening, Matisse lay in bed and drew the faces of his grandchildren on the ceiling with a piece of chalk tied to a long pole. As he fell asleep, they looked down on him and saw his dreams. They saw the shapes that surrounded him in his sleep. As time went on, Matisse cut bigger and bigger shapes. They filled his seaside room with color. You see, as I am obliged to remain often in bed, I have made a little garden all around me where I can walk. There are leaves, fruits, a bird. And the shapes that you see, the big shapes that he's cut out and put around him, those are the organic shapes that I was talking about earlier. I am deeply contented and happy. Then one night, Matisse walked out into his paper garden, and the rainbow of shapes cradled the old artist and carried him into the heavens. And are some of the stars we see at night coming to us from Henri's scissors? Perhaps. So your lessons this week have to do with Henri Matisse and some of his beautiful artwork. I hope this book inspired you, and you can just follow the links on the bingo board to see the assignment for the week. Thanks for joining me. Take care. Bye-bye.